there is no defendant in the. I'm the defendant in the case. Am I the defendant in the case? There's no victim. There's no victim to my crime, correct?
You have drug charges, possession of methamphetamine, possession of paraphernalia, and driving while suspended are your 3 charges.
Yeah, but no victim, correct?
All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the most mind-boggling courtroom appearances I've ever seen. Meet David Walker, a man who apparently doesn't even know he's the defendant in his own case. Yes, you heard that right. He literally sits down and...
Name, sir?
David Walker.
Your Honor, it looks like he has 2 files.
I see that. All right, we'll next take up 2 cases, both entitled State of Kansas versus David Wayne Walker, 22 CR 398 and 22 CR 508. All right, we'll first take up 22 CR 508. This is my case, Mr. Walker. You failed to appear in front of me on July 17th for your preliminary hearing control docket. Where were you that day?
It's safe for sure, sir.
Okay, well, I issued a bench warrant bond forfeiture and set a new bond in the amount of $10,000 cash or surety. Are you still representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
You want to continue representing yourself?
Look at me. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the paper. Yes, sir. Don't have any money to.
Pardon?
Yes, I guess I'll represent myself.
Okay, you understand that if you can't afford to hire an attorney, one would be appointed for you.
I don't know what he would do for me.
Okay, well, he could provide you legal advice and perhaps advance any defenses you may have had, but if you want to represent yourself, you have that right. I just want to make sure you understand that if you can't afford an attorney and would like to have one represented you, I would appoint one for you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you wish to continue representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
The docket notes don't reflect if a waiver of counsel was ever signed. Do you have any notes that would reflect that he's waived counsel on the record or otherwise, Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, I just note that on December 30th of 2022, defendant stated that he would hire his own counsel, and then he had a failure to appear. And on May 5th, we did not appoint any counsel. I don't show an actual waiver. And the notes don't reflect that he did a waiver on the record. It just says that he would hire his own attorney.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Mr. Walker, you've indicated here on the record that you wish to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. So I'm going to have you, if the jail has one, sign a waiver of counsel. Do you have a form?
I believe so.
All right, can you read through that? Make sure you understand it. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me.
There's
Yeah.
no defendant in the. I'm the defendant in the case. Am I the defendant in the
front of the judge, looks around and asks, "Am I the defendant in this case?" I mean, how do you walk into a courtroom and not know you're on trial? No victim, no clue, just confusion mixed with what seems like a dash of sovereign citizen.
There's no victim. There's no victim to my crime, correct? The crime that I'm accused of, there is no victim in the crime.
The state of Kansas, you have drug charges, possession of methamphetamine, possession of paraphernalia, and driving while suspended are your 3 charges.
Yeah, but no victim, correct? No victim in the crime. No victim.
I'm not sure I understand your question and what that has to do with your waiver of counsel.
Well, I'm the defendant. There must be someone making a claim
The
that
the state of Kansas is making the charges against you, Mr. Walker.
the state of Kansas is the victim.
The state of Kansas charged you with these crimes. Do you wish to represent yourself, or do you wish to have an attorney representing you?
I will represent myself.
You've got a waiver of counsel in front of you, correct?
Yes, I suppose so. Why do I need to sign? Why do I need to sign it? Why do I need to sign this?
Because I like to have it documented in the file that you understand that you have a right to have an attorney representing you. And that if you can't afford to hire one, one would be appointed for you. And you understand that, and knowing those rights, you wish to represent yourself. That just documents that for the court file.
What I don't understand is why there is charges against me when there is no victim.
All right, Mr. Walker, I'm not going to play this game this afternoon. I'm going to set this case
Why are we playing a game?
in front of me on
Theatrics. And honestly, part of me wonders if he's playing dumb on purpose, maybe trying to set up some sort of appeal down the line, or if he's genuinely lost. You decide, but either way, it's a wild ride. So here we go. The judge starts by
October.
Trying to understand.
Mr. Walker, your case is being set on October 10th at 2:30 in front of myself. And that will be done by Zoom. That's the felony preliminary hearing control docket, October 10th at 2:30.
Your Honor.
You got a $10,000 cash or surety bond on that case.
Yeah. I was wondering if I wouldn't be able to have access to certain legal things to be able to put my case up.
I believe they've got a law library there at the jail. I'm
Oh,
not
they
sure
do?
what kind of access they provide to you, but you can consult with somebody there at the jail.
Okay.
All right, I'm now going to take up 22 CR 398. This is Judge Webster's case. Looks like he failed to appear in front of her on July 31st. She set a new bond for $6,000 cash or surety. You've already had a first appearance, so I'm going to set this in front of Judge Webster on October 30th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That will be by Zoom, October 30th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So again, your bond is $6,000 cash or surety. Anything else on this case, Ms. Norris?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Your Honor, was the time for court on October 10th for 22 CR 508, was that 2:30?
That's correct.
Just clarifying. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be in recess, Mr.
trying to confirm the basics. David Walker, 2 open cases, drug possession, paraphernalia, and driving while suspended. Standard stuff, right? But Mr. Walker, he's sitting there like the world's most confused tourist. He insists there's no victim to his crimes, and he repeatedly questions whether he even needs a lawyer. The judge patiently explains that if he can't afford one, the court would appoint an attorney for him. But does he take the offer? Nope. He insists he wants to represent himself. At this point, you can almost feel the judge's eye twitching, because this isn't some small traffic ticket. It's serious stuff. And here's the kicker. He's offered free legal counsel and declines it. Then he stares at the waiver of counsel and asks why he even needs to sign it. Like, seriously? You're literally about to go up against the law, and your first question is whether you have to sign a piece of paper. And it just keeps getting better. As the judge tries to clarify that the state of Kansas is the one pressing charges, yes, technically the victim in the case, Mr. Walker keeps circling back, insisting that there's no victim. He's staring down the reality of multiple felony charges and seems completely untethered to the concept that, yes, he is in fact the defendant. At this point, you can't help but wonder, Is this a sovereign citizen act? Or is he just completely, utterly lost? Either way, the absurdity is almost Shakespearean. By the time the court gets to setting his hearings, October 10th for one case and October 30th for another, you realize there's no immediate way out for this guy. He's sitting there rejecting counsel, staring blankly at the reality of his situation, and probably wondering why the system isn't bending to his peculiar interpretation of the law. And honestly, while it's tempting to mock, you also feel a pang of sympathy because he's clearly out of his depth. This is a man confronting the law, completely unprepared, and determined to argue his way through a world he doesn't even understand. Now here's where it really gets wild. David Walker has officially waived his right to counsel, or at least he's pretending he knows what that means, and he's trying to navigate the courtroom solo. The judge patiently explains that signing the waiver just documents that he understands his rights and still wants to represent himself. But what does David do? He spirals back into confusion, asking again why there are charges if there's no victim. You can almost feel the courtroom collectively holding its breath like, is this guy serious? Is this a show? Or is he genuinely this unmoored from reality? It's one of those moments where you have to lean back, shake your head, and just marvel at the sheer audacity, or the staggering ignorance. As the hearing continues, David tries to ask about accessing legal resources in jail, about Zoom hearings, about the timing of his cases, anything to regain a semblance of control. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Rejecting free legal counsel, insisting on representing yourself, and simultaneously not even grasping the basics of your own charges is a fast track to disaster. The judge sets his hearings. One case on October 10th, another on October 30th, with bonds totaling tens of thousands of dollars. At this point, David is officially trapped in a maze of his own making, stuck between bizarre sovereign citizen theories and the unforgiving reality of the law. And here's the kicker. Watching him, it's hard not to feel a mix of exasperation and sympathy. On one hand, he's making some of the most avoidable mistakes imaginable. On the other hand, you can see the confusion, the stress, maybe even a mental health struggle beneath the surface. The guy is in a courtroom facing felony charges, and yet he's arguing about whether he is the defendant, whether there's a victim, and why he even has to sign a piece of paper. It's almost tragicomic, sad, but mesmerizing at the same time. The bigger picture here is brutal. No matter how clever you think you are, no matter how deeply you buy into sovereign citizen ideas, the law doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your scripts, your theories, or your confusion. David Walker could have had a lawyer, some guidance, maybe even a fighting chance. Instead, he's opted to swim alone in shark-infested waters, and the current court record shows just how quickly that decision can backfire. Watching him flounder is like watching someone try to drive through a hurricane without a windshield. You can't look away, but you also know it's not going to end well. So what do you think, folks? Is he playing dumb to manipulate the system, or is he genuinely lost in a swirl of delusions and ignorance? Either way, this is one of those courtroom sessions that remind you how unforgiving the system can be, and how much chaos one determinedly unprepared individual can unleash on their own life. David Walker might be entertaining to watch, but the lesson here is crystal clear. Know the law, take advice when it's offered, and never underestimate the courtroom. Because the court doesn't bend for confusion, it doesn't pause for theatrics, and it certainly doesn't wait for anyone to figure things out.